Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on customising your library discovery layer, what you can do with Aspen. Now, there have been previous webinars where we have introduced Aspen Discovery and provided a general overview of its functionality, so I'm not going to repeat this. Instead, I would like to point you to some of these resources, and we've got on this slide here, we've got a link to our general OpenFith YouTube channel, which if you haven't done already, please do subscribe to, but just some webinars of interest to you. Helen did a webinar all about exploring it, giving a general overview on Aspen Discovery, and I did a webinar on the administration area and the interface customization, both of which are touched on in today's webinar. However, let's begin with a very brief introduction. So, Aspen Discovery is a fully featured discovery system that integrates with e-content and other third-party providers, which gives your patrons comprehensive access to all your materials in one place. Aspen combines your library catalogue with e-content, digital archives, and enrichment from all major third-party providers. It also improves relevancy and ease of use, provides native reading recommendations, displays all formats of titles in one result using the furberization, and it does much, much more as well. It's more than just a catalogue. Essentially, Aspen was created to give users an improved experience over other discovery systems with less impact on the library budgets. So there are four main goals with Aspen Discovery, and they're displayed on the screen here. So the first one is to create a unified experience through deep integration with all library technologies. You can maximise user engagement with the library, connecting every user with a personalised and accessible library home base. And from the library staff's perspective, it gives the empowerment to the administrators to customise and expand on Aspen. Now, the purpose of today's webinar is to provide you with an insight into the art of the possible. So this is our agenda. We will primarily be looking at examples of interfaces today. We're going to start by looking at a demo system and then look at some of the customer Aspens that are out there. And basically just giving you a feel for what is possible, what you might like to think about doing on your own Aspen site, should you have it. And then we'll finish up by having a quick delve into the administration area to show you how easy it is to customise your platform. So I'm going to start by just looking at our demo site. And I want to highlight the URL. So you can see here, it's demo.aspendiscovery.co.uk, and you are very welcome to have a look around and explore our demo system. The URL is important, however, and I'll highlight why in just a moment. But this is our main page. So I just want to draw your attention to the fact it says OpenFith Libraries here. We've got three navigational links above the search bar, and it's kind of a blue and grey search bar with some browse categories appearing and some subcategories appearing underneath, giving you access into some jackets. However, if I move into this one, I mentioned the URL is important, and I'm just going to highlight this again. So this time, we are looking at an east.aspendiscovery.co.uk, but the URL is the same apart from that first component. So we've got east here and we've got demo there. So this is an example of multiple instances of Aspen on the one server, and this is perfect for consortia environments. And immediately here, you can see this looks different. The search bar expands the whole width of the page. It's this kind of coral and bluish colour that you can see here. And we've got four navigational links, which are different along the top. Moving into our next one, this is the west. And again, this is the same URL as before. So another instance on the same server. And this one looks very, very different. Again, different navigational links. But rather than have those browse categories that we saw in the previous two, this is more of a custom page where we're using collection spotlights to produce all these carousels that you're seeing here. Then scrolling down, we can see that we've got a map of where the libraries are, and we've got information about the library opening hours. So a very different look and feel. We do have another two instances on our demo system. One of them is for our medical libraries presence, and this immediately, very visually, looks very, very different. It's still got your navigational links, it's still got your search bar, but it's got these big panes throughout, and it's the whole width of the page as well. So a very, very different look and feel to this one. And finally, we've got the system set up for our academic libraries as well, where there is more focus on what the academic libraries would look for. So links to learning support and so on. And just, a link here to online resources and so on. Scrolling down, we've got a video embedded in there. And we'll come back to that in a little while. So that's our demo system with all those different instances installed on there. One server, multiple themes. You'll see that in a moment when we go on to the administration area. But now I'm just going to take you through and highlight what some of our customers and then some other libraries that are not our customers have done with their Aspens as well, just to give you a little bit more food for thought. So another example of a consortium, so one system, multiple Aspen interfaces, is this one. So we've got Westminster City Council using Aspen, who are one of our customers, and we've also got the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. Now, on first glance, they look pretty similar, but there are subtle differences, notably in their sort of colour scheme here. And if you have a look at their carousels, you can see that the book covers are also different. So different colours and different carousels. But ultimately, the kind of look and feel is the same, but it just allows each of these two independent library authorities that share a library management system, just allows them to retain their own identity for their public interface. And of course, that is really important for some of our library services. Now, let's look at some standalone Aspen interfaces. First of all, we're going to have a look at Newcastle Libraries. This library service is actually renowned for changing the theme regularly so it fits in with certain events. So, for example, Black History Month, Pride Month, and when you have a look closer to Christmas, they've quite often got like snowmen and stuff appearing as well. And we can see here that they have got a banner advertising the Summer Reading Challenge that's going on just now. And we can click in here, they've got a link for the Story Garden, the Summer Reading Challenge, and we can click on that and we can see that they've created a page within Aspen with more information on that as well. So again, with Aspen, it's not just about how it looks in terms of the theme, it's also a web builder, so the library can have all their web pages actually created as pages within the system as well. So this hasn't given me a redirect, it's actually just a page within the system itself. Let's have a look at another one of our customers. This one, Sefton Libraries, this is really quite a different look to the Newcastle one. As you can see at the moment, they've got a scrolling banner going along here, which you can move across manually, or you can just leave it and it will scroll itself. You can also see that they've got integration with events. So a user can come in and see all the events from the home page as well, click into them and get more information. And again, this is within Aspen. Back to their homepage, they've got lots of little tiles and advertising things. They've got their Instagram feed embedded, new in stock banners, and so on. So quite a lot of different things being advertised on that very first page for the users. Now, another public library customer of ours, this is a new, relatively newly installed Aspen. This is East Dunbartonshire in Scotland. Again, they've got a nice custom homepage look here. They've got a rotating banner, just like the last catalogue we looked at. But what they've used this banner for is to highlight the new look library catalogue. So they've picked out key components of what Aspen offers that the Koha OPAC didn't, that they were using before. And it's drawing the users into this so they can see, oh, now that we can view books that are similar, we can borrow a lamp, we can see that the entire ebook and audiobook collection is now on the catalogue. And then they've got collection spotlights set up for each of their carousels as well. So they're giving the user a lot of, let's have a look at what your new catalogue can do for you, but also all these spotlights too. Now, another site, a customer of ours, is Middlesbrough Libraries. Again, quite a different look and feel. They've got their banner going across the entire width, their search bar underneath, the links, obviously, and then they've got various things going on in the middle of the screen. So they've still got book carousels, but they're kind of shrunk because they just wanted them appearing on one half of the screen. They've got information about their libraries in here as well and the use of the council facilities. If I was to change my library, so let's look at Acklam, you can see dynamically it changes on screen and the hours are changed and you've got your sort of link to your Facebook and email address for that particular library that you're looking at. I'll just pick another one, pick Neptune, and you can see it changes as well. Okie doke. Now, for something a little bit different, I'm going to, these are the next ones, the next three that I'm going to show you are actually not our customers. They are partners with Bywater Solutions, a support company like us in America that we work very closely with. But I do like to show these examples, again, just to give a little bit of scope and ideas what you can do. So if I have a look at this one, this is McKinney Public Library in Texas. So this is kind of similar to what we were looking at before. You've got your banner in the middle of the screen, you've got your browse categories, and you've got your book covers appearing. So nothing very different there. They've got their links across into various things, including like they pull in statistical dashboards in here as well. So if I just open that in a new tab, just to show you what that looks like in a second. But that's using their Metabase business analytics system. They put a link in there and then they can get all their dashboard information and statistical analysis in there if they wish. However, the real reason that I show McKinney is because, again, they've got a second instance on the same server. And this time, if you look at the URL, this is a kids cat. So this is an Aspen interface that they have designed solely with children in mind. So the browse categories are all relevant to children, and they've got a link to events and to games that can entice the children as well. So again, they've really kind of utilised this Aspen for their children. Another customer of Bywater's that I like to look at is Knox County Public Libraries, and they're based in Tennessee. And I like to show this one as well because it's really quite different. Again, visually, it's very colourful. Look at the use of their colourful icons in here, and the user can just click on it and hovers over, and the question mark changes colour and everything when you hover over it. Read City, that changes when you hover over it. And then they've got tiles for their children, local history, we've got upcoming events, and again, just a very different look and feel on their Aspen. But underlying, everything's the same. It's the same systems that all these sites are using. It's all controlled by the Aspen administration. Just a couple of academic sites now, back to our customers. This is Royal Veterinary College, based in London. They've got they use the browse categories on their homepage, as before, search bar, lots of different links across the top more relevant to the academic library. So things like accessing your e-resources and your databases and research resources and so on. And the final one that I want to show you is Kelvin College, which is in Glasgow. And again, this one is, I think people look at it and go, wow, that's colourful. Something that's quite nice is they do welcome all their new students with this banner. And just to show you some of the things that they've done, we have got links here for video guides, for example. So if I click on the video guides, they've embedded videos on things like how to use Aspen for their students as part of their induction. They direct them here. They've got a link to their online resources and how they can find their ebooks and so on in here. They've also got a good FAQs page, which tells them about what they can borrow and how they can renew items and things like this. And they've got a nice wellbeing hub as well. It's nice and attractive, giving links out to various other places. So mindfulness, for example. And you see when I click on that, I'm still being retained within Aspen. So what they've done is they've created lots and lots of web pages and they're keeping the students inside Aspen. Okay. One thing that Glasgow Pelham College did, and I hope to repeat it this year because it was really good last year, was they did an online advent calendar, and every day the student would click on whatever day in December it was, and they would get something. They would get resource of the day, or they would get just some little snippet of information, and it was a really nice thing to do. Now, I could go on and on. There's lots of libraries using Aspen Discovery as their front end. But hopefully, just in showing you this handful, I have provided you with enough examples to whet your appetite and let you see what is possible. I'm now going to jump back into our demo site and I'm going to show you the administration area and just really to show you how easy it is to do some of this configuration. But before I do that, I just want to highlight to you, because I'll be coming back to this in a moment, that currently I'm not signed in and therefore there is no feedback link. And as I say, I will come back to that in a moment, but by telling you that now, it saves me logging out and logging back in a wee while. So I'm going to log in as the administrator. And once I've logged in, I can then access the Aspen administration area from this blue button here, or from the Aspen administration area in the hamburger menu. Once I've logged in and can see everything, the first thing is there's quite a lot of settings. My administrative user has access to everything, but you can create staff accounts to allow you to have some access into the administration area, but not everywhere. And that can be really useful if you want to allow some staff to be able to do fancy things with the themes, for example, but you'd rather have control over setting up browse categories, web pages, and so on. So it's all very permission based. Because there's a lot of settings in here, I do recommend that you use the search facility to find what you're looking for. So I'm just going to search for theme. And here we have our themes and layout option. And coming into the themes area, this is where you can see, I'll just expand my screen a little bit. This is where you can see the themes that we were looking at. So there's my West one, there's my Health, my East, my Demo, and my academic one. So it shows that all these themes have been configured onto the same system. Let's have a look quickly at the East theme. So if I just come in to have a look at this, you can see there's the header bar that we were looking at, got a little favicon. You can see you've got everywhere in themes, you've got colour schemes and you get given contrast ratios. And if you make change to a colour, the contrast ratio will be updated. And if it's in red, it means it's not accessible and it won't allow you to save it. If it's in amber, it's giving you a little bit of warning. So you should always be looking for a green, and they appear everywhere. And scrolling down, you can see we've got some additional CSS that's been applied to this particular theme as well. And scrolling down a little bit further, you can see that this one is specific to the East County. So that's so you can brand your themes so that they only apply to one particular system on your system. Now, if I go back to the top of the screen, what you can see here as well is that there's the ability to share with the community. So I'm just going to return to the list to talk about that a little bit more. At the bottom of my themes page here, I've got a button to import community content. So this means that Aspen users can copy other themes used by libraries throughout the Aspen community, and that saves you starting from scratch. So I can import the community content, pick a theme, and then edit the theme. And as you saw in the previous screen, I can have my configured theme and I can share that back in to the community. And that can be really useful for accessibility purposes, as some of the themes you can import are dark theme and high contrast. So just something to be aware of. I'm going to come out of themes and I'm going to search now for web builder. And again, as I said, Aspen is has the library website on it as well, and all of that configuration can be carried out through the web builder. We have, for example, our custom pages. So let me have a look at custom pages initially. And let's have a look at our academic library page. So here we can see everything that we saw in our academic library. If I just toggle back over to it. So here you've got your tiles. Welcome to the academic library. Your 3 tiles here. And we had the embedded video at the bottom, remember? And that is configured here. So there's your bit that you saw in the middle. And scrolling down, you have your embedded video. So all of that can be done as a custom page. We also have the ability to have grapes pages. So in addition to building your own custom pages, you can use the grapes pages to help you. You're provided with nice looking templates, which are really easy to build and navigate from. And we'll just have a look at a couple of examples. So if we have a look initially at the digital volunteers, we can see that if I just go into the editor, this is an example of a page. So it looks really quite different to what we were just looking at with the custom page. Can see the main body here, and as I toggle it over, you can see that that's a text file, and that's a link, and this is an embedded video, and you see you can move about, and you've got all your sort of editing options available on the right hand side as well. If I go back to the homepage for grapes, and this time let's look at Eastmoreland Services. This one looks quite different in the editor. It's got sort of tiles that we can, a tiled view of this on that page. Now, the beauty of using this is you can set up templates for future use. You can have them in 3 columns, for example, and you can do what you need to do with your template and then apply the template when you're creating your content. Now, finally, I'm going to go back into our administration area. And remember, this is going back just a few moments ago. I pointed out the feedback form was missing from here because I wasn't logged in. I am logged in as an administrator now, but I'm not a standard library user, so I still don't see it. And I'm just going to show you where that form is. So if I'm just look for forms, so it's a custom form. Here's my feedback. Okay, so the first thing is, you can see what the title is. It's got /feedback on the URL alias. Then they've got some text here. Happy to hear your views and so on. Then they've got fields. So what we're going to see in our form in just a moment. It's very easy to add in new fields. If I wanted to do so, I can. And then what happens when the user submits their feedback? It will be emailed to somebody in particular, and then the user will get text result back in their submission. In this case, thank you for your feedback. Okay, so this has been configured so that it will only show when we're logged in. So I'm going to show that now just to finish off. So signing out as the administrator, and I'm going to log in now as a library user. So I'll just use my Fiona account. So now we can see the feedback option appears. When I click on it, I get 2 options, feedback and reference inquiry. We were looking at the feedback one, so let's go into there. So here you can see there's my URL alias, so /feedback. Here's the banner that we saw, happy to hear your views. And there's all the fields that we saw on the form. So creating custom forms is as easy as that, and they can be tailored in to just be seen when somebody logs in to the Aspen as well. So that was really all I was going to show you. The purpose of the webinar today was really just to take you through some look and feels and give you a quick insight into how those are configured. So I hope that was useful. In closing, I'm just going back to my slides just to remind you of some of our upcoming webinars. Later this month, next week, we have an exciting introduction to archival software called Atom. So do come and join us if you're interested in finding out more about that. And then our September webinars are also listed there. We've got part of our essential series is working together. And then we've got another what we can do series, and that's when we're looking at the community engagement module within Aspen. So if you're interested in attending any of those, please do visit our events page on our website and sign up. And as I mentioned previously, do please subscribe to our YouTube channel for lots of content. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.